Hey, this is Aaron of aaronjmarks.com. I'm a visionary purpose coach and metaphysical leadership mentor. And it's kind of late in the evening. I just kind of felt inspired to write this post, and I'll be publishing it tomorrow morning, tomorrow being Sunday. So it's Saturday night. So that's why I'm a little scruffy and in a t-shirt. I saw Oppenheimer yesterday with my wife, and it was good. So I recommend it if you haven't seen it. Yeah, very smart, well made, just thoroughly engrossing. Very long movie, but constantly in motion, and yeah, just really absorbing and well done, and yeah, fascinating storytelling. So I was listening to the score, which is really quite beautiful, and um, reading Wikipedia articles about the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, going down rabbit holes, seeing all these little historical details that I just had never heard of. Coup d'etats within the Japanese government as they were preparing to surrender. Japanese generals committing ritual suicide, over the impending surrender. This whole international community of nuclear physicists, some of whom were in Japan. A lot of whom knew each other. All these countries racing to create this atomic bomb, and the United States won. And fortunately, that's why we have the world order that we do. Um, so that was on my mind. And then there was a trailer for a movie coming up called The Holdovers, starring Paul Giamatti, and he's this prep school professor. It seems that he teaches a lot of ancient history classes, and he ends up babysitting these kids who don't get picked up over Christmas vacation. And one of them, kind of feels like a delinquent at first, but it seems that Giamatti's character befriends and mentors him, and he tells this, or it starts to give him an appreciation for history. And there's a line that was like, oh my gosh, I wish I'd come up with that line, because it's just such a wonderful crystallization of the way that I think. It was something to the effect of history is not simply history is not simply about the past. It's an explanation of the present. So if you think about the state of everything as it exists now, including the very decision that you're making at this moment, that's the historical account is an explanation for that. And when I go in and I consult with companies, I consult with leaders, consult with organizations, I see the strife and the miscommunications, and the reasons that people behave the way that they do. That's what I'm looking for. It's the stories. It's the personal stories, the family stories, the cultural stories, the religious stories, the political stories. We're all driven by many of those stories, and we form social groups around them. And that's what we have to remember when we craft our communication, to implement the strategies that that bring us closer to our visions. And it doesn't matter what organization you're working in or running, that's always true. So when you watch things like Oppenheimer and you see that grand sweep of history, there's just incredibly significant events that touched everyone. And then when you get a really good history teacher who can teach you something like that, and help you see it in a new way. And some of my clients look at me as a history teacher like that. They understand, they appreciate history better, which I think is really awesome and really fun and really cool. And it helps to see the patterns in their own lives, in the present moment, and the decisions that they have to make, the situations they have to navigate. So it's funny too, because Giamatti's character and this student, they're in this museum during that scene, and they're looking at this this pornographic image on this ancient Greek vase. And so the student says, well, if you put it like that and throw in some pornography, it's a lot easier to understand. So that's that's the genesis of the headline. So yeah, go see Oppenheimer if you haven't. It's a beautiful experience, and very evocative telling of that era of history. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing The Holdovers whenever it comes out. I don't know that it's going to come to my little town, because it's sort of an arty, kind of art house film. But yeah, history, narrative trauma, our stories, the past, an explanation for the present. That's the essence of narrative trauma. Wonderful, painful, but beautiful thing, and it affects everything. And it changes the way you see everything if you really see it. This is Aaron of aaronjmarks.com, visionary purpose coach, metaphysical leadership mentor. I will see you next time.